This is a quick review of the super thin 80s vintage look Casio A700W, and we'll also be doing a quick comparison with its inspiration, the F91W. If you have a F91W and wish it had a more flashier, angular, and more chiseled metal cousin who went on a diet, this is what you would get, the Casio A700W. While the A700W keeps the classic and iconic F91W layout and design cues, it definitely skews more of the 80s. Doesn't it remind you of the 80s wedge-shaped Ferraris and Lamborghinis, the chrome metal font designs, the graphics on your Trapper Keepers, the shoulder pads? It's kind of all here encapsulated in a little watch. The case is made of resin with chrome coating and a one-piece adjustable metal band. And you can see that here. The adjustment is made by moving the receiving piece and up and down, and you could just get a small flathead screwdriver and move it up and down, and it'll clasp onto this metal, the metal band here. The function modes are standard for this line. You got standard time display, very loud beep, alarm, stopwatch, and time adjustment. There is no countdown timer. The watch is powered by the 3472 module and can be found in 2 additional color variants, all gold with a metal mesh bracelet, and a one that also comes in a silver mesh bracelet, but also more of a silver overall face. This one's got a black accent face here. Those other ones, it feels like maybe overboard 80, so I think this is probably the best choice for me. The light is orange. You can definitely see it here under the light. Instead of the green one on the F91W, it's a much more faint green that you can see coming from the left-hand side. But also at the same time, it's not as good as the blue electroluminescence that covers the entire display on the A168. And what really sets the A700W apart is the looks and the thinness. Just look at how thin that is. Everything's been made shinier, sharper, more defined. You can see the edges right here, just compared to the F91W. You can see the difference. Everything's just more defined and angular, sharper, more defined, and above all, slimmer. At 6 millimeters, it is 30% thinner than the F91W's 8.5 millimeter thickness. So you can see it here. It is even thinner. And, you know, it is thin compared to a F91W, but it is even more stark right next to a G-Shock. This is a fairly slim G-Shock at 12 millimeters. And you can see you can stack 2 of these thickness-wise into a G-Shock, just in comparison of the size and the thickness compared to a G-Shock. Because the band is steel, the watch comes in at 50 grams or 1.75 ounces, and that's a whole ounce heavier than the resin and plastic F91W 21 grams, or at just 0.75 ounces. And so if you want the lightest watch, go with the F91W, and you can see the little light here. It's very hard to tell, it's very faint, but it's on. But if you want a super thin watch with everything 80s in a watch, or even more 80s, go with the A700W.